Hello everybody, today I was going to, well it's not even 9 o'clock this morning, and I was going to go for my morning walk and it's raining. So I thought, okay, instead of, getting completely rained on and feeling sorry for myself, I'm going to do a couple of unboxings. Here I've got Eldritch Horror, which is another candidate in the Arkham Horror files. So it seems like they have now come out with this idea of calling them Arkham Horror files. So it's the third game series that is based on the Arkham Horror franchise. You have Arkham Horror Classic, if you like, then you have Elder Sign, which I've also featured on my channel, and you have Eldritch Horror. Eldritch Horror, like Arkham Horror, is a board game, and whereas of course Elder Sign is a dice game, and you have a, well, you don't even have a board. You build kind of like a board by opening and by drawing cards and opening locations. So Elder Sign, I don't know when it first came out, but I hadn't really thought about it a lot, really, until I saw a couple of videos about playthroughs of this game. And I got really interested in it because I felt it was going to solve a couple of issues that I've always had with Arkham Horror, that even Elder Sign does not address, because Elder Sign is Arkham Horror, if you like, light. You have the idea of, going in there, solving tasks to banish the Great Old One, and it's all dice-based, so it's completely luck-driven, although you can mitigate the luck by, saving dice and stuff, but it plays in under an hour, and it's a nice game, but the feel is different from Arkham Horror. You don't have this epic idea to it. And Eldritch Horror now seems to have solved another problem that I've always had with Arkham Horror, and that is that although it's supposed to be a cooperative game, you can't fight monsters together, which I always thought was really odd. But hey, so when we open the box, we get a catalogue. Okay, so this is a print of 2013, obviously, because it's got the winter 2013 catalogue. You've got a rule book, which, according to people that have commented on it, is good. Usually Fantasy Flight game rule books have a tendency to be really confusing and bad, but apparently this one is good. And it seems to have a reference guide, which we see here. So actually a reference guide that is actually quite long. I would have thought that a reference guide is a one-pager, but okay, well, we'll see. And it also says, stop, do not read this guide before you have read the rulebook. So I'll read the rulebook today. Here we have the tokens, couple of sheets, 2 sheets maybe, 3 sheets. Yeah, 3 sheets put together. I have to talk a little bit about the graphics of the game, and I'll do this when I show you the map first, because I saw the map and I thought it was beautiful. It's a world map, and it's a map that I could imagine actually putting up on my wall. It's really lovely. I really liked it, or I really like it. I think it's beautifully done. Likewise, this time round, the investigator character sheets look like passports, because the idea is that these guys travel around the globe to ensure that mankind isn't killed by the Great Old Ones. So they have given them travel documents, which I thought was a really nice touch. And again, they look really, really great, graphically speaking. Of course, the box is a typical Fantasy Flight game box, which means it has no inset to speak of where you can store the components. Fantasy Flight, what are you thinking? I mean, seriously, I don't understand how anybody can come up with such stupid insets. But hey, we keep buying that games, don't we? So here is the map, and I'll have to adjust the camera. I don't actually take it all in, so I'm going to turn it around for you. This has been warped. Well, it's not warped, but it's not lying flat, so basically you will have to put it under, well, I'll have to put it under plexiglass when I'm playing. It is big, and it is beautiful. So I'm just going to move now to zoom in a little bit and show you the details of this really awesome map. So let's pull it on the American continent first. you have, well, or actually, let's look at the whole map once. You have the Americas over here, and then you have Africa and Asia. So let's zoom in on Australia. So this is for Kevin Sharp. Australia is over here. And they have Sydney as a city location. As you pull up. Here we have Shanghai and Tokyo as city locations. We have Tunguska. Very famous for its references, of course, in the X-Files, the Himalayas. Istanbul, of course, that is a Lovecraftian location. London. Rome. I don't think Rome is in Lovecraft. The pyramids, of course, are. The heart of Africa is. When we go south, here we have the Cape of Good Hope. The Amazon. Buenos Aires. And Arkham, of course. You can't have a map of a Lovecraftian game without Arkham in San Francisco. And that's it. Here we have like a map key, a legend. So train, uncharted ship, city, wilderness, sea. And down here I would like to draw your attention to I'd like to draw your attention to the reserve. This is basically different from, and very different from both Eldritch Horror and, Elder Sign and Arkham Horror. What you see here is the so-called reserve, where you draw item cards. And you put them out here, so 4 in a row, and they all have a value. And you can buy them by using your influence, which is I think a completely new skill in Arkham, in the Arkham files. It doesn't exist in Arkham Horror as far as I remember. So basically you roll dice, and depending on the number of successes you score, you can buy items from here. And again, this map isn't dirty, this is just made old, you know. And this is very different because in Arkham Horror, you just basically get the luck of the draw. There are some investigators that have the ability to look at the top card or at the bottom card of a stack. Or maybe when they get to draw something due to an encounter, they can look through the stack or look at the top 3 cards. But here you actually see 4 cards, 4 items that will be available for purchase. So you can actually plan strategically what would make sense for you to buy. And there's also one that's printed on the card, on the map itself. So that's the one over here. And this is a bank loan, which is available for you. So if you decide to take out a bank loan, then of course you owe money to the bank, but you can also buy stuff and you can increase your credit if you like. The map itself is beautiful. You have all kinds of interesting features. You have sea monsters. You have a whirlpool. Oh yeah, and here you have like probably the plateau of Leng as well. So we will see this more when we play. I will also show you the Doom track, which is printed on the map rather than on the old one, as it is in Arkham Horror. And it reaches all the way over here, where we have this circle, which has different symbols. So we're going to zoom in here a little. It's the Omen track, and as you can see, there are different symbols there. A red symbol, a green symbol, and 2 blue symbols. These blue symbols are exactly the same. They're a star constellation. Now, if they took their Lovecraft seriously, this should be Taurus, but it's probably not. And if it was Taurus, then this would be Aldebaran. And the Omen track plays a role as well, which I have seen it in operation, but I'm not quite sure how it works in detail, so I'll have to talk to you about this as soon as I look at at the game in detail, which I will do at this weekend because I have Monday off, so I'm planning on playing this, and I'm also planning on documenting my first play. So let's look at the components some more. We of course have cards. I mean, as everything in Arkham Horror as well, this game is card driven. In terms of, you have adventure cards. Oh look, actually they might even be sleevable. Let's see if they can be sleeved. It's got a pack of sleeves here. If these cards fit these sleeves, that would be great. Let's see. Or if Fantasy Flight has chosen to completely not go with the flow, as they always do, and have their own card sizes, even for the big cards. Yeah, that is, well, you could sleeve it, but that wouldn't fit nicely. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, there you have it. So, here you have the cards that drive the game. So these are this is an adventure card for actually Cthulhu. So each Great Old One apparently has its own mystery deck. So this is the Great Cthulhu. This one I don't recognize even, but I'm not going to spoil it for me now. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones. No, 4 different ones. And these ones are probably generic cards. So here you have, yeah, these are now encounter cards as you know them from Arkham Horror. When you are in a location, you draw an encounter card. So these are encounter cards. City, wilderness, sea. So they are really generic as well. These ones are, these ones are cards for the outer worlds. So for example, the Great Hall of Giuliano and so on and so forth. So you have those. You also have, dedicated encounter cards for particular areas. So this would be an encounter card for the Himalayas. Now this is one of the big criticisms that has been leveled at this game, that the amount of cards that you actually get, I mean this is the encounter deck, is very small. So basically as you play the game more often, you actually come across the same. Well, okay, here are more. I mean, these are Himalayas as well. So yes, you do have more, but they say, you know, you cycle through them really, really quickly. And these are now well, I guess what we would refer to in the old game as the mythos cards. So, where you do things. And again, you only have a certain number. And also the point is that once you cycle through the whole deck of mythos cards, the game ends. You don't reuse them like you do in the other game in Arkham Horror. So again, you know, that is kind of like an inherent doom track. Here you have the Great Old Ones. The cards are small. I would say they're smaller than the ones for Arkham Horror. And the format is completely different. So, here we have, you know, like Azathoth, he's famous, Yog-Sothoth, Shub-Niggurath, Cthulhu. And here we have our adventurers. Oops. And I don't actually know these from Arkham Horror, so these are different people. They have a front side with information. So here you have like the character statistics, lore, influence, as I was talking about earlier. This allows you to buy items, amongst other things, observation, strength and will. And here you have your stamina and your sanity. And I really, really like these, the iconography on this. It's really beautifully done. And on the back side you have information as well, and also things that will happen during the game. So there is a there's relevancy to flipping cards. You know, for example, when you get a curse or when you get an injury and you don't shirk it, then you flip the card and something happens, and you don't know what's going to happen until you actually flip the card. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 investigators. That's actually quite a lot. So that is actually going to add a lot of variety to the game. I have a feeling that they have reprinted these cards, because when I saw them in videos, they seem to be bigger and less shiny. But nonetheless, I really like the iconography. I really like that it looks like a passport. And I also like the fact that they have now finally gotten round to making real hearts and real brains. You've got standees and dice. And here you've got the small cards, which would be your item cards, and yeah, so item cards that tell you what you can do with them. Ally cards, spells, conditions like death, for example, back injury. Oh, I should basically just copy this and put it on my desk. Back injury, that's so me. Cursed, blessing of Isis. You know, these are spells, clairvoyance. And again, this deck is actually rather small. Not very many things in here. What I also like, or especially like, is you get an information sheet, if you like, for the number of investigators you're playing, what you have to remember. So no more flicking through the rules. You have these little cards and can just put them on the map, kind of going, okay, if you have 8 players, then when you spawn a gate, when you spawn 2 gates, you spawn 3 monsters, and you spawn 4 clues. So this actually helps you to determine this, and you know, you have 7 and down to 1, so that you always have the information there. And I really like that. It's a nice touch, especially, I mean, a lot of people made them themselves, but obviously it's nicer if you have them made to look like they belong to the game. So that is what's in the box. I kind of splashed out, and I can blame Amazon for it, because I ordered this game and the expansion, I think it's called Elder Lore or something, or Forgotten Lore, sorry, because everybody says you should get Forgotten Lore to begin with as well, because it just increases the number of cards. So I ordered them to my normal address, and they never arrived. I got an email from Amazon saying, oh, we've been informed that that we can't deliver this, and it has been sent back to our fulfillment center. I was like, what do you mean sent back to your fulfillment center? Why can't you deliver it? You've delivered to this address hundreds of times. You know, what is different today? So I was very cross. So I actually thought, okay, well, you know, I do want this. And they said, well, they can't resend it, but you can reorder. So I said, okay, yeah, well, reorder, blah, blah. And then I checked it, and I found another company in the UK called boardgameguru.co.uk, and I can just recommend them. First of all, the games were cheaper there than they were on Amazon, which I've never seen before, because Amazon, really being a really big retailer, usually has very, very competitive prices. Then I got £2.50 off because I ordered more than a certain value. And then also I did pay £11 for the shipment, but you know, I'm happy to pay £11 for shipping if the thing actually arrives. With Amazon, you don't pay anything for the shipping if you go over a certain value, but if it then doesn't arrive, you know, there's no point in really, you know. I'm happy to pay for shipment, if within reason, obviously. If I then actually get the game or whatever it is that I ordered. So I bought it from them on the Monday, after Amazon had told me on the Monday morning at 8:33 that they had, you know, sent it back to the fulfillment center because it couldn't be delivered. And to this day, I don't know why, because on that day, other people in my company had been receiving stuff from Amazon. It had been delivered that day, so I don't know what was wrong there. So I ordered it from boardgameguru.co.uk, but they only had the base game and the Mountains of Madness big box expansion. But it basically says, you know, if you only have the base game, you know, it's not going to be that much fun. So it's like, okay, well, you need at least one expansion. So I bought the Mountains of Madness. Now, Forgotten Lore was not to be had anywhere. So I did go for the Amazon delivery for that one. And they said they were going to deliver it on Monday. But actually it arrived yesterday. So I have now got all of the expansions for Eldritch Horror and the base game, and I'm going to do an unboxing for the Mountains of Madness as well, and for the Forgotten Lore. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the rules, and then I'm going to read the reference book, and then I'm going to play. I'm going out tonight to play Shadowrun, so I don't know if I'm going to make a video today, but I'm definitely going to make a couple of videos over the weekend. I'll probably play with the base game only, and with possibly Azathoth, because he's a very easy, great old one, because he doesn't really influence the game. Or I might take one of the ones that do influence the game, but I will definitely video that. So it will be my first outing. Maybe I'll get in 2 games, because I've got 2 days left. Thanks for watching. Oh, yes, there is one more thing, and this is for Kevin. But I can't do it now, but I will just hold it into the camera for everyone to see as well. I have started to counter clip. So this is the counter clipper that works for people that, like me, have basically 2 left hands. Anyone can clip counters with this and get really good results. So yeah, I clipped the counters for a whole game last night. Okay, so that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Bye, bless me.